You ever have that feeling like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? Like every problem, every little thing is just building up until you can't breathe? You lie awake at night, running through every scenario, every possibility, trying to figure out how to make everything work. You keep worrying, keep stressing, keep thinking that if you just think harder, maybe, just maybe, you'll get it all right. You ever get that feeling that you're holding on to everything, trying to keep it all together like some sort of mental contortionist? You're juggling 100 things, balancing work, relationships, dreams, failures, fears, and you keep thinking if you just try hard enough, maybe you'll get it all right. But here's the thing, you can't. You can't control everything. No matter how badly you want to, you can't. You can't make people act the way you want them to. You can't make life fit into the neat little box you've imagined. And every time you try, you end up exhausted. We're all trying to play the game, right? The game where we think we can outsmart the chaos, outwit the unpredictability. But guess what? The game's rigged. The moment you think you've got a grip on it, life throws a curveball, and you're left with nothing but a few bruises and a lot of confusion. And yet people still think that if they just push a little harder, just try a little more, it'll all fall into place. It won't. It doesn't work like that. You think you're in control because you're planning, you're scheduling, you're organizing, you're telling yourself that as long as you stick to the plan, everything will be okay. But who are you fooling? Life isn't a linear process. It's not some cute, ordered chart where everything happens in predictable steps. It's chaos. It's a tornado that spins in circles, a hurricane that tears through your best laid plans. You can think you're controlling the wind, but the wind's laughing at you, pushing you in directions you never even saw coming. And you can either keep fighting it, keep forcing your will against the impossible, or you can stop. You can just stop. Because here's the thing, trying to control everything is like trying to hold on to water with your bare hand. The harder you grip, the more it slips away. People think if they just keep their fists clenched tight enough, if they just keep that death grip on their plans, everything will work out. But no one tells you that the more you try to hold on to it, the more you strangle yourself. It's like holding onto a rope with both hands, but you're the one on the other end slowly choking yourself out. That's what happens when you try to control everything. You destroy yourself in the process. You're fighting a losing battle. You think you can micromanage every tiny detail of your life, but guess what? You're not a puppet master. You're not a wizard with some magical control over every person, every situation, every moment. No matter how much you want to believe it, you're just a tiny piece of this giant, unpredictable puzzle. And here's the truth that no one really tells you. It's okay to not have control. It's okay to let go. It's okay to stop fighting, stop stressing, stop trying to dictate every little thing in your life. Because trying to control everything is like constantly trying to drive the car while blindfolded. You can't see where you're going, but you're gripping the wheel so hard that your hands start to ache. And spoiler alert, you're not. The road's bumpy, the turns are sharp, the whole thing is chaos, and there's nothing you can do to change it. So why keep pretending you're in control? Why keep acting like you've got it all figured out when deep down you know you're just one bad decision away from falling apart? It's a lot easier to let go, take off the blindfold, and just let life take you where it wants to go. You think life's all about control, about being the master of your own destiny. But what you don't understand is that real strength comes from letting go. It's the willingness to accept that you don't have the answers, that you can't predict the future, and that's perfectly fine. It's not a weakness to admit that you're not in control. It's not a failure to accept that things are going to happen whether you want them to or not. And they won't. The more you fight against the current, the more you tire yourself out. You can keep paddling upstream all you want, but the river's still going to take you where it wants. It doesn't care how hard you work or how much you try to fight. The current is stronger than you. And guess what? That's okay. It's not about winning the fight, it's about knowing when to stop the fight. The truth is, we all think we can control everything. We think we can keep everything in line and make sure it all works out, but control is an illusion. The harder you try to hold on to it, the more it slips away from you. The only thing you truly control is how you respond when life throws you for a loop. You can keep grasping at the impossible, trying to make everything work just right, or you can take a deep breath, step back, and let the chaos unfold. Because guess what? You don't need to control everything. You just need to learn how to live with the unpredictability. You don't need to steer the ship. You just need to keep from drowning in the waves. So stop pretending that you can control it all. Stop pretending that you have all the answers. Life isn't about control. It's about survival, adaptation, and understanding that sometimes the best thing you can do is to let go. Worrying. Oh, the sweet little poison we all love to swallow. How many of us spend our days just trapped inside our heads, obsessing over the things that might happen, what could happen, what should happen? It's like a broken record playing the same song over and over again, each loop tighter and more desperate than the last. You wake up, and what's the first thing you think about? Oh, the problems, the stress, the mess you've got to clean up. You're already mentally planning your entire day before you've even had your coffee. But guess what? That's all just a trap, isn't it? A little game you play with yourself, thinking that by worrying, you're somehow going to solve something. But let me let you in on a secret. Worrying does nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can waste all the hours of your day staring at the same problems, running your mind ragged, and you won't change a damn thing. But it feels so good, doesn't it? You can feel like you're doing something, like you're in control, like by stressing over every tiny detail, you're somehow putting everything in its right place. But all you're really doing is spinning yourself into a frenzy. You think that worrying is a sign of care. You think it means you care enough about your life to fix it, to make it better, to make sure everything turns out just perfect. But really, it's the opposite. Worrying just shows you how little control you actually have. And the more you try to control, the more you grip tightly onto your worries, the more you push and strain, trying to make things work in your favor, the more you slip away from any kind of peace. It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. No matter how hard you push, you're never going to make it fit. And the harder you try, the more frustrated you get. So you worry. You stress, you lose sleep, lose your appetite, lose your grip on reality, and all for what? Nothing. It doesn't change the outcome. It doesn't change the fact that life's going to do what it's going to do, no matter how much you fret about it. You keep thinking that if you just worry enough, if you just work yourself into a frenzy, that maybe, just maybe, you'll come up with the perfect solution. But guess what? You're not solving anything. You're just draining yourself. You're digging a hole and filling it with more and more dirt until you can't even see daylight anymore. You can't see the way out. because you're too busy buried in the details, thinking if you just worry hard enough, the light will magically appear. It doesn't work like that. The more you focus on the fear, the more you get tangled in the web. The more you think about what could go wrong, the more likely it is that you're only going to see the problems and not the solutions. It's like wearing blinders, but instead of seeing clearly, all you see is a mountain of what-ifs. But here's the kicker. Worrying doesn't solve the problem. No matter how hard you try to stretch out the hours, you can worry about the future, you can stress over the past, but it won't stop the world from turning. It won't stop the sun from setting, or the rain from falling, or life from doing whatever the hell it wants to do. So why keep pretending that your worries actually mean something? They don't. Worrying only gives you the illusion that you're doing something. It makes you feel like you're controlling it, but really, you're just losing control. It's like spinning in circles, trying to catch your own tail. And let's not forget about the worst part, the anxiety. You start with a little worry, just a small thought, maybe even something tiny. But then your mind, oh, it loves to play tricks on you. It takes that tiny worry, blows it up like a balloon, makes it bigger and bigger until it's so big you can't see anything else. Suddenly the tiny problem you had becomes this massive, insurmountable mountain, and you're standing at the bottom looking up thinking there's no way you're going to climb that. But that's the game your mind plays with you. It turns small bumps in the road into giant walls, and all the while you're still standing there, worrying about it, letting it grow bigger and bigger until it's consuming you. So when you see as an expectation that it needs to be perfect and it needs to be lovely, you're drowning in it, but it's all in your head. You've created the problem, you've inflated it, and now you can't see past the fog you've built. You've become so obsessed with the outcome, so fixated on the what-ifs, that you've lost track of everything else. But let me give you a little advice. Worrying doesn't change a damn thing. It doesn't solve your problems. It doesn't make your life better. It doesn't fix what's broken. The only thing it does is suck the joy out of your life, one anxious thought at a time. The moment you stop worrying about what might happen, about what could go wrong, is the moment you take your power back. The moment you stop obsessing over the future is the moment you're free. You see, the only thing worrying guarantees is that you'll miss the present. The only thing worrying guarantees is that you'll exhaust yourself, stress yourself out, and make it all worse than it actually is. So stop. Stop worrying. Stop trying to solve it all with your thoughts. It doesn't work. It's not a magic trick. It's just you running in circles, pretending that anxiety is somehow going to help. It won't. Ah, life. You think you've got it all figured out, don't you? You think you know how everything should go, how everything should unfold. You've got the blueprints, the roadmap, the checklist of what needs to happen next. You walk around with this fake confidence like you're in control, like you're the one calling the shots. But deep down, you know you're not. You're just a passenger in this little ride. And no matter how many times you try to grab the wheel, life is steering the damn thing. But you can spend your whole life planning, predicting, controlling every tiny little detail, but the reality is that the world doesn't care about your plans. Life is chaos, and it doesn't ask for permission to ruin your perfect little picture. You can have the best laid plans in the world, and life will laugh in your face, shove you into a mess, and watch you try to figure it out. And you'll sit there in the middle of the chaos, wondering how you got there, questioning why nothing is going the way you wanted it to. But here's the thing, that's the game. That's how it works. And that's why it's not just okay to let go of the control, it's essential. The problem is, we're so obsessed with controlling everything, we think if we just plan it all out, if we just control the smallest details, we can make life go exactly the way we want it to. But that's not how it works. You can't predict life. You can't force things into a neat little box. You can't make it all happen by just thinking it through. The more you try to control it, the more you fight against the current, the more life just slips away from you. It doesn't listen to your plans, doesn't listen to your worry. It does what it wants to do, no matter how tightly you grip the reins. So why keep pretending that you have control? Why keep running yourself ragged, trying to manipulate every little moment? Why keep trying to bend the world to your will when it's never going to bend back? You think you're controlling it, but really, it's controlling you. The more you try to force it, the more life pulls you into directions you never saw coming. Here's where it gets fun. When you let go of the idea that you can control it all, things actually start to flow. The minute you stop trying to figure everything out, stop holding on to your precious plans like they're some sacred gospel, life becomes a lot less stressful. Because when you try to control, you only create pressure. You build a world where everything's a high-stakes game, where every decision feels like life or death, where every move you make feels like it's either going to make or break you. And that's exhausting. But when you let go of that need to control, suddenly there's room to breathe. Suddenly you can step back and see things for what they really are, messy, unpredictable, but full of potential. But the problem is, most people are too afraid to let go. They're too afraid to take their hands off the wheel, even though they don't even know where they're driving. They're too afraid to trust anything outside of their own narrow view. So they just keep clinging to the illusion of control. They live in a constant state of stress, of panic, of pushing, because if they let go, they fear they'll lose everything. But here's the dirty little secret they already have. When you keep trying to control everything, you lose out on the freedom to just experience life. You stop seeing the beauty of the mess. You stop appreciating the chaos because you're so busy trying to bend it to your will. And what does it get you? A headache, a heart attack, and a life full of regrets. You think control will bring you peace, but all it does is bring you tension. It brings you pain, it brings you frustration, and the harder you try to control it, the further away peace gets. That's what makes it so funny. You think the tighter you grip, the better off you'll be. But all you're doing is suffocating yourself. You're strangling the life out of your own happiness. You're too afraid to let go, to accept that you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to control it. But you want to. You want to believe that by controlling it, you're securing your future. That by pushing and pushing, you'll finally get that perfect, smooth road ahead. But that's not how life works. Life doesn't follow your script. It doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care about your timeline. You could have the best plan in the world and life will still kick you in the teeth when you least expect it. But here's the thing, the real kicker, that's okay. Life doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to fit into your neat little box. You don't need to control it. All you need to do is trust the process. All you need to do is let go of the grip you have on it. Just for a second. and let the chaos flow. Because the chaos, the unpredictability, the mess, it's all part of the ride. It's all part of what makes it worth living. So stop pretending you can control it all. You can't. You never could. And the more you fight that truth, the more you'll keep running in circles, trying to get the perfect answer, the perfect result, when in reality, it's the imperfections that make life so damn interesting. So stop fighting, let it go, and enjoy the ride for once. You know, everyone always talks about fighting the fight. We're told to push through, to keep going, to never back down, like some sort of battle is always waiting for us on the other side of the next corner. Like we're supposed to be these warriors in the middle of a constant, never-ending struggle. You think life's all about winning? All about beating the odds? All about slamming your fist down and saying, I can do this. I'll conquer it all. It's a joke. The real joke is the more you push, the more life will laugh in your face. The more you try to fight it, the more it will fight back. You're not a soldier in some heroic war. You're a little pawn in a game that doesn't even care if you survive or not. So why do we keep fighting? Why do we keep going in circles, telling ourselves that this time, we'll get it right? Because it feels safe, doesn't it? We like to tell ourselves that fighting, struggling, is the way to win. It gives us purpose. It makes us feel like we're doing something, but it's all a trap. You think by clenching your fists and pushing through, you're going to change the game, but you're not. You're just exhausting yourself for no reason. You're not winning. You're just losing in a different way. We've all been told that life's about the struggle. We've been sold this idea that if you want anything in this world, you have to fight for it, scratch and claw your way to the top. But that's not the truth. The truth is, you're not going to win by just fighting every little battle that comes your way. It's exhausting. And guess what? It doesn't work. When you fight everything, when you try to control everything, you're missing the point. Life's not a game of brute force. It's not about slamming your way through the obstacles like a battering ram. It's about timing. It's about knowing when to step back. But who talks about that? When's the last time someone told you it's okay to stop fighting, to stop pushing so hard? We don't talk about that, do we? We just keep getting told to fight harder, push harder, grind harder. But that's just a setup to burn you out. Because here's the thing, you don't need to fight all the time. You don't need to push until you break. There's a time to fight, sure, but there's also a time to let go. There's a time to stop struggling against the current and just let the damn thing carry you for a while. You don't have to fight every single second of your life. You don't have to keep pushing against the forces that you can't control. You're not some superhero. You're not some unstoppable force. You're a person. You're just trying to get by, trying to make it through another day, and that's okay. But no one tells you that. No one tells you that sometimes the best way to win is to stop fighting so damn hard. It's not glamorous, is it? It's not the story we want to hear. We don't want to hear that it's okay to step back, to let things fall into place, to stop battling. We want to hear that we can be strong enough to fight through anything. But in reality, that strength is just an illusion. Fighting all the time only makes you weaker. It makes you tired. It wears you down, and eventually it will break you. But we keep going. We keep believing that if we just keep pushing, if we just keep grinding, something good will come out of it, but the joke's on you, because life's not waiting for you to catch up. It's already moving on. pulling you in directions you never saw coming. And while you're busy battling, trying to make everything perfect, life's just laughing, watching you flail. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to win everything. You don't need to prove anything. The more you fight against the inevitable, the more life will just keep throwing curveballs at you, knocking you down just when you think you've got a grip. You stop struggling. You stop pushing for that perfect, flawless outcome. You let go. You take a step back and let life do its thing. You trust that you don't need to control it all, that you don't need to fight every single fight. The world's not some war zone you need to conquer. It's a place you're supposed to live in, to experience, to roll with the punches. The moment you stop fighting, the moment you stop trying to win every damn battle, is the moment you can finally breathe. You're not some soldier. You're just someone trying to make it through this chaos. So let it be chaotic. Let it be messy. You don't need to fight it. Let go. Stop fighting. And you'll find out that you're still here, still alive, still making it through. No battle required. Oh, the sweet, sweet irony of it all. We think we're so damn smart, don't we? We walk around with our heads held high, like we've got it all figured out, like we know the answers to everything. We try to control every little thing in our lives, trying to manipulate every detail, trying to make it all fit into some neat little box. But what happens the moment we think we've got it? The moment we think we've won the game, life laughs in our face and smacks us upside the head. We try to control it all, but life doesn't play by our rules. And yet, we keep doing it. We keep trying to bend the world to our will, to shape it into something that makes sense to us, something that's predictable, something that we can handle. We try to make everything line up perfectly because, hey, if we can just control it all, right? If we can just control the chaos, then everything will work out. But it doesn't, does it? You know what happens when you try to control everything? You're left with nothing. You're left with a handful of dust, trying to catch it as it slips through your fingers. You're left holding on to something that was never yours to begin with. And all that control, it just slips away like sand in a storm. The more you try to control it, the more it controls you. You belong to no one, and better late than never at all. The tighter you grip onto your plans, your expectations, your fantasies, the more you're suffocating yourself. You can't control everything. You can't control people. You can't control the future. You can't control the way things turn out, no matter how hard you try. And the more you fight it, the more it fights back. You push, you strain, you claw your way through. But all you're doing is pushing yourself deeper into the pit. But it feels so good, doesn't it? It feels good to tell yourself that if you just try a little harder, if you just control things a little bit more, everything will finally fall into place. But that's a lie, a sweet little lie that keeps you trapped in the cycle. You're stuck, fighting a battle that was never yours to win. You're so wrapped up in the fight that you forget about the rest of it, the parts of life that just happened without your input, the moments that come and go without you having any say in them. You're too busy trying to control, too busy trying to fix, that you miss out on the beauty of just letting things unfold. You think you're being smart, right? You think that by holding on to control, by keeping things in line, you're somehow doing it better than anyone else. But the reality is you're just getting in your own way. You're wasting your energy, fighting against a current that doesn't care about your struggle. Life doesn't give a damn about your need to control. It doesn't care about your plans, your timeline, or your perfect little picture. Life is messy, it's unpredictable, it's chaotic. And that's the beauty of it. You can't control it, and thank God for that, because if you could, it would be boring as hell. You see, the more you try to control it, the more you lose yourself. The more you push against the things you can't change, the more you get lost in the struggle. You forget about the beauty of just being in the moment, of just letting life happen. But it's hard, right? It's hard to let go. It's hard to trust that things will work out without you micromanaging every little detail. You want to believe that you can do it all, that you can control it, that you can make everything work out perfectly. But that's not how it works. Life's not going to play along. You can fight it all you want, but you're never going to win. The more you fight, the more it pushes back until you're exhausted and broken. But the irony is, when you finally stop fighting, when you finally let go of that need to control, that's when the magic happens. That's when you realize that you didn't need to control it at all. You just needed to let it be. When you stop trying so damn hard to control every moment, when you stop obsessing over what's next, when you stop trying to make everything perfect, you realize something powerful. You realize that the struggle wasn't worth it. You realize that trying to control it all only made things worse. And the more you let go, the more you give up the need to control, the more you open yourself up to the possibility of something better, something bigger than your little plans, something that's beyond your control. And it's terrifying, isn't it? It's terrifying to think that you're not the one calling the shots. It's terrifying to think that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to fight so hard. But that's the point. The point is, you don't need to control it. You don't need to make it perfect. All you need to do is let go. Trust that life will unfold as it should, not as you think it should. Because in the end, no matter how hard you try to control it, life's going to do what it's going to do. So why not just sit back, let it happen, and enjoy the ride? Oh, the illusion of control. The big joke, right? We all walk around thinking we've got it figured out. We convince ourselves that we can manage everything, that with just the right amount of effort, the right amount of strategy, we can keep the chaos at bay. We tell ourselves we're in charge, that we're the masters of our fate, the captains of our ship. But come on, let's be real for a second. The truth, life doesn't give a damn about your plans, your strategies, or your tight little grasp on things. You think you're holding the wheel? Well, newsflash, you're not. You're not the one driving this thing. Oh, sure, you've got your map and your directions, and you think you're cruising along smoothly. But suddenly, out of nowhere, you hit a bump, and then it's a full-blown crash, and now you're staring at a mess, wondering where you went wrong. But where did you go wrong? Oh, that's the funny part. You didn't. We think that if we just push a little harder, if we just work a little more, if we just control every little detail, life will fall in line. If we just manage everything, everything will be perfect, right? We control our careers, our relationships, our bodies, our money, our time. We try to shape every single piece of our world like we're some grand puppeteer pulling the strings. But that's just a joke. You think you're in control, but the universe is the one laughing. It doesn't matter how tightly you grip, how much you try to force things into place. Life is like that sneaky little kid who just knocks over all your carefully arranged toys. No matter how well you plan, no matter how perfect your little world is, something or someone is going to come along and destroy it. and you'll stand there broken and confused, wondering what happened to your carefully laid plans. And here's the thing, it's not that you're a failure. It's not that you didn't try hard enough or that you made a mistake. The problem is that you never asked the right question. You never questioned the idea that you need to control everything in the first place. You were too busy working yourself into the ground, thinking that if you just controlled enough things, you'd be able to make everything work. But that's the trap, isn't it? You can't control everything. You can't control life or people or the future, and yet we keep trying. We keep running around trying to bend everything to our will, trying to make things happen on our terms. But the truth is, it's exhausting, isn't it? Think about it. The more you try to control, the more you burn yourself out. The more you obsess over every little detail, the more you lose sight of what really matters. You're so busy being the one pulling all the strings, you forget that life isn't a puppet show. It's a chaotic mess full of twists and turns and surprises. And you're just a passenger, trying to hold on for dear life. You're not in control. New York City, you're not in control. And guess what? You never were. But that's okay. Because when you finally realize that, when you finally let go of that need to control everything, that's when the magic happens. That's when you finally realize you've been fighting for something that doesn't matter, that you've been wasting all this energy trying to fight a battle that was never yours to win. It's funny how we're all so obsessed with being in control. We think that the more we control, the safer we'll be. But what does it get you? Anxiety, stress, heartache, that's what it gets you. The more you try to control, the more you're suffocating yourself, suffocating the life out of yourself. You're never going to get it perfect. Life is a mess, and that's okay. The moment you realize that is the moment you stop fighting it. The moment you stop trying to make everything perfect and just let life happen. It's not about making every little thing fit into place. It's about embracing the chaos, the unpredictability, the mistakes. It's about letting go of the need to be in control. When you do that, when you just let things flow, suddenly the pressure lifts. Suddenly you're free. You see, we're all trying to control, but we're controlling the wrong thing. We're controlling the little stuff, our schedules, our appearances, our careers, but we're not controlling the one thing that actually matters, our ability to let go. Let go of the idea that you need to have everything figured out. Let go of the idea that you need to control it all. Let go of the illusion of safety that control brings. Because the truth is, life isn't safe, and it's never going to be. But that's the beauty of it. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and that's where the magic happens. Let go, and suddenly you're free to live in the chaos. And maybe, just maybe, that's where you'll find what you've been looking for all along. Not in your tight grip on life, but in your ability to let it go and see where it takes you. Ah, the sweet comfort of doubt. Isn't it just magnificent? You walk around pretending you've got it all together, that you know exactly what's happening next, that you have all the answers. But deep down there's that gnawing feeling, that little voice in your head whispering, you don't know, you don't have a clue. And you try to ignore it. Try to tell yourself that you've got everything under control, that you know exactly what you're doing. But the truth is, you don't. And you're not supposed to. See, life doesn't care if you have a plan. Life doesn't care if you're confident or if you have all the right answers. It's not waiting for you to figure it out. It's not sitting there all neat and tidy, ready to align itself with your expectations. And yet here we are, trying so hard to make sense of it all. Trying to map out every little step, every tiny detail, as if we have the power to control it. But that's the joke. We don't. And that's okay. You've spent so much of your life trying to build this illusion of certainty, haven't you? You've been convinced that if you can just figure it out, if you can just get it right, then you'll be safe, then you'll be happy. Then everything will fall into place. You think that if you work hard enough, if you plan enough, if you just get everything perfect, life will reward you with some kind of stability, some kind of peaceful existence. But here's the kicker. Life isn't about stability. Life isn't about perfection. Life is about embracing the uncertainty, embracing the chaos, and learning to dance with it. You can't control the unknown, no matter how much you try. The unknown will always find a way to make you squirm, to make you question everything you thought you knew. You're not meant to have all the answers. You're meant to live with the questions, to live in the uncertainty and still find your way through. But no one tells you that, do they? They tell you to have a plan, to make sure everything's in order, to never let the world catch you off guard. And when it does, when things don't go according to plan, when life throws you a curveball, they act like you failed, but you didn't fail, you just didn't follow the script. The thing is, the more you try to fight it, the more you try to bend life to your will, the more you're going to get burned. The more you try to make sense of it all, the more you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. My nostrils were blurry because of that constant spray from the window panes. The sound of a man calling for disappointment. You can't control the chaos. And trying to do so is like trying to hold water in your hands. You can grip it as tight as you want, but it'll slip right through your fingers, and then you'll be left standing there holding on to nothing. That's the joke. The harder you try, the more you lose. But somehow we all think that if we just push harder, we can make it work. If we just try a little more, a little harder, a little faster, then we'll be able to make sense of it. But you can't, you're not supposed to. And that's the beauty of it. Life is a puzzle that doesn't need to be solved. It's a story without a clear ending. It's a ride with no destination, and that's what makes it exciting. The more you try to fight the uncertainty, the more you miss out on the beauty of it, because there's something magnificent about not knowing. There's something freeing about stepping into the unknown and just letting go. So here you are, trying to control every aspect of your life, trying to plan for every single contingency, trying to make sure that every decision is the right one. You're trying to do it all, trying to control every single moment. And all you're doing is squeezing the life out of it. You're so busy looking for answers that you're not even paying attention to the fact that life is happening right in front of you. You're missing the magic of the moment because you're too focused on the future, too focused on making everything fit into your perfect little box. And you know what? That's exhausting. That's exhausting because you're fighting a battle you can't win. You're chasing after something that doesn't exist. A world where... But that world, it's a lie. It's a delusion you've been feeding yourself. The reality is, life is messy, it's unpredictable, and it's chaotic. But that's where the fun is. The fun isn't in the plan. It's in the chaos. It's in the uncertainty. You think you can control it, don't you? You think if you just plan well enough, if you just work hard enough, if you just get everything right, then the world will fall in line. But that's the trick, my friend. Life's not going to fall in line. Life's not going to make sense, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll find peace in the mess. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know what's coming next. You don't have to control it. You just have to live in it. You just have to accept that the unknown is part of the ride. And maybe, just maybe, that's where the real freedom lies. In the chaos, in the uncertainty. Because you don't need answers. You just need to experience it. Live it.